So at the end of the day, this trade has hit my stop loss. Completely real stop loss, not hunt my stop loss. Okay. But those who are looking at this asset on bigger time frame, their stop loss would have been here or here or here, which means that regardless all this pullback, they will still be in the market. But that is not always it is. Now, let's say when we redraw this, you realize that your risk to reward ratio, how much you are risking to how much you want to earn, how much you want to earn will be lower than how much you are risking. And if it is like that, if the trade hits stop loss, then there is a problem. You will lose big. Okay? So sometimes we accept the loss like that. And that is where we have what? Take profit 1, 2, and 3. Or in most cases, we set the take profit based on the levels or key levels. Okay. Now, when you look at it from here, we've actually had a trend line here. Okay. So what happened? Let me just mark it up for you guys to see something. Okay. So the trend line was broken. This structure broke the trend line, and the market came back to respect the trend line together with the support. Okay. So if I were to be monitoring this trade, I will understand it hitting the first TP and just close it manually, and then looking for a confirmation for this buy move. But that's for scalping. And then at the end of the day, you can write this sell again. So how market move is what is happening here. But now when we look into it again, we have what we call structures are forming here. Okay, so the same asset, the same setup, we can still get another opportunity from here. What is the opportunity? Now, market actually broke our level, which is the zone. The zone we spotted on the monthly time frame, the weekly time frame, the daily time frame was broken. So we now expect to get a confirmation. Now when you do your analysis, the analysis stays. So we now expect a confirmation towards this yellow line or the blue line. Then we expect another ride down. Now, that ride down can also push back to this level and keep going down. So how do you know if this is a sell for it to be maintained? You can now draw your trend line again. Oh, sorry. You can now draw your trend line again nicely, because it gives you a point of concentration. All right. You can now draw a trend line, but don't forget, there is something I will look at here. Now, the best indicator to use when you're making self decision is your eyes. There is a point of concentration here. That point of concentration is that at that particular place, market move with, not with normal technical analysis, but with fundamental analysis. Okay, so that becomes a point of concentration to really understand that the market isn't now respecting a downtrend, or it just take a downtrend because of the fundamental analysis. So now this will now become a case study for you to now understand how the sell is going to push. All right, that will be your point of concentration, what your eye will spot for you. So at this point, what we do is that you look into it again and you will see other trend lines. You can still see another trend line here. See another trend line here. Then we also have another center line. The center line, when we draw it, it will now click this level again. So it will not give us 3 lines of concentration. Okay, now When we go into details, what we're learning, we are going to understand pattern formation, pattern separation, and some other techniques in moving market. So that is our setup we've done on Monday. If you go for TP1, you would have enjoyed TP1 profit. But if you are looking at TP2 and without trailing your stop loss, okay, that's why sometimes we trail stop loss. Once as the trade moves in your profit, and then you know market is dynamic, you don't really have control over it. So once you actually look at the market, oh, maybe there's a switch, you want to minimize your risk, not because of fear. You can adjust your stop loss, okay? But sometimes, let's say you put your stop loss somewhere here, a little bit above this level here. It also means that markets can hit that your stop loss and still continue in your direction. Okay, that's one disadvantage sometimes with trailing stop loss, especially the manual one. So you have to only do that on levels. Now, what level did this setup respected before pushing up? It respected this level. Let me just annotate it and remove it quickly. So it respected this level. That's a level, a point of concentration. And it backed that same point of concentration here. So even though this was a fundamental, we have a layer of zone that was created to respect that fundamental. Okay. Now, a time will come, you may not even have to draw lines. The lines are just guidance, but you can still be able to spot everything with your eyes. Okay. So that's for the USD JPY. Now let's look at gold US dollar, my friend. Monday we talked about the bearish pressure, and I told you guys exactly where it will buy from. Okay, on the yellow line. I don't know if you are here. If you are here, you can let me know if you remembered. And it respectedly correctly. Now, it is not giving us a rejection, or point of concentration, or point of rejection. So let me break it down to per time frame, and let's look at it from another point. So we have our yellow line here that was respected. So it start buying from there, a little bit below it. So it start buying from there, and then now creating a support within this level. Okay, so gold is now creating a dynamic support at 1806. Okay, so we call that a dynamic support, and if it validated, then it means that we have a new line of a new point of concentration. But when you look at this structure here, even though we have confirmation, we have a fundamental analysis that played out here rightly, but at the end of the day, what are we looking at? We are looking at a clear rejection here that confirmed this sell. Okay, and this is more or less like a fundamental analysis, but there's a point of concentration here. Let me annotate it again for you to see. Now, these are not magics. These are things you use your own eye to see. All right. So there's a point of concentration here. Now, that point of concentration is not validating all these particular areas as zones. So it means that if you're looking at somewhere buying gold, maybe any of this point, your stop loss have to be outside that region. Which means that if it successfully break that region, it means that it is taking a sell trade. Then at the end of the day, we can also see here on 4-hour time frame as a consolidation zone. This whole structure is a consolidation zone. But scalpers will be getting opportunities. Okay, scalpers will get opportunities. So it's like more or less like we are having a bearish momentum, and we have a sideways consolidated market, or a sideways consolidating market. It is not a ranging market because the highs are not the same, the lows are not the same. And it can also be as accumulation phase. Okay, so we'll be expecting accumulation phase, mitigation, and break of structure at one point. Now, you'll be asking why all these jargons? Well, guess the point you become used to it. Because when I started, I was not used to it as well. Okay, so this particular move here from this level to this level was a fundamental analysis. Okay, That's why the candlestick was fat like that. Then after that, we have more or less like an order block. Okay. So as the order block is completed, you just push back a little to validate the previous lows it created here. So if gold is respecting here as a low and we are expecting to buy, then we have to expect another low creating at this level. So this is now our point of concentration for gold, this whole area. So when it breaks this level and come to rest on this, then we can get candlestick confirmation and then expect it to push up to somewhere here. So at that particular point, you have to look at the risk level. So at this point, we may be looking at 1:1. Okay, the risk level will be more or less like the risk to reward ratio will be more or less like 1:1, because you are trying to avoid the accumulations by taking off your Excel or taking your Excel outside the zone. All right. So let's look at it and see how that would look like. And we can review it on Monday to see the next move of gold. So we said our point of concentration is here. That's our first point of concentration. And then second point is somewhere here. Now, this is where sometimes you end up seeing plenty lines on the chart. Don't worry about that. Now, the third point of concentration is that if it creates a low, either equal or in the same range to this level, okay, create a low equal or the same height to this level. So let's use the rectangular structure to pick all these holes into consideration. Let me pick it here. Okay. Now, at this particular point, we are going to expect that it creates a low above this low. This particular level is created here. Means that the next 4 hours we are expecting a bullish move. The next 4 again we are expecting a bullish move. Then it come and rest on this zone, this slice zone we created. Now, if that happens, it means that we can expect some bullish momentum, which will be giving us some few patterns there. We are looking at a little bit of inverse head and shoulder, and then pattern in pattern. At the same time, looking at a W at one point. At the same time, we are looking at also a double bottom at one point in a zone level, not on support level. So in this case, you have to apply double rules. You apply the law of support and resistance integrated with the law of demand and supply, right? Then at the end of the day, you can be able to catch the ride. Okay, but currently we are in a sell zone and expecting our target. And funny enough, from last week's Friday, we never had any stop loss so far. And gold has actually played on our side massively this time around. Okay, so now what will be our target? Our target will be somewhere this high. Okay, so let me put it here. I wouldn't put it here. I'll put it somewhere here, which means that the probability is that it comes to validate this and confirm this back to a whole resistance zone and come here. So how it broke or react to this zone after it got to 1880 will now tell us if it's going to break this whole structure below and keep selling, or it will be swinging in it. So our point of concentration will be 1880 and 1800. So that will be where gold will probably be playing around. And so maybe a momentum push it out, an impulsive move push it out, and the other way out. So that's what we are expecting for gold as well. So if you are not on the signal base, then you are cheating yourself. Okay. Even if you are not going to trade, take it on demo and see the feel. You are practicing and then all that stuff. Now let's look at our friend BTC, the broken heart. What is causing people in the market? So I don't know, but if BTC were to, I think it touched my line just a little bit. To touch my line, just a little bit to touch my line, I would have clapped for myself, because it's not easy to analyze the market. It's not easy to project the market. So as far as the monthly time frame is a concern, we still have some few bearish move to expect. All right. What do we expect from BTC this time around? It's getting a layer of juicy. So we will. So what we are expecting now is that a little bit touch to somewhere here. Let me use this. A little bit touch to somewhere here. That will be my point of concentration right now. So a lot of people asking me, is it going to reverse? Is it going to reverse? Yes, definitely it's going to reverse. But when? So the first point of concentration is 17,225. Then the last point of concentration will be 10K. Well, if it gets there, I think I'll be very, very happy. So we're going to look at it from this whole area. Okay. We're going to look at it from up to this whole area. Right now, why all this? So if this happened, we are going to expect some short bullish move up to this level. Then, how it created the low, how BTC is able to manage the low it will create here, determine the next push up. Now, a lot of people are expecting buy, because they are not traders. They are just investors following speculations. So if you are that type, you will have a problem while you're selling. But if you are a trader, you will not have a problem. Now, another point of concentration is how the June candlestick started. So this actually more or less like a fake out or a major correction. And realize that on the monthly time frame, the wick is very tiny. Okay, the wick is very tiny. So if we didn't see a major rejection on this level, then there's going to be something. Now, why am I confident, or a little bit, a layer of confidence here? Look at how this particular bullish candle formed. Okay, this bullish candle. Look at how it formed. So doesn't it look like it's an assumption? Doesn't it look like or look alike? If it's trying to quote that for us, that's why I always say that the best indicator to determine the market direction is your eye. Okay, so now we can now break this for short-term traders. Now, if you're looking at BTC right now, you must not be a short-term trader. You have to be at least a long-term trader, so you can be able to follow up what is happening. So on the daily time frame, see what I've just spotted on the white line. It looks the other way out here. So it means that if we expect a push up, then validation from the 1100 or 1000 up, 1000 up, testing this level, and based on how it creates its low. So our first point of concentration on the daily time frame will be 21,000. So based on how it creates the low on 21,000, will tell us how it will go to 29,000 and how it reacts. But the probability is that it has to get to the 29,000 or 30,000 and create another low compulsory. Another low must be created. And when that low is created on a level of a higher low, then we can confidently say it is going to break the 3,500 structure. Okay, so please, like I said, I always said, do not just buy the low because people say buy the dip, buy the dip, right? You have to follow some technical procedures or technical analysis, so that you don't end up losing your money. Okay, there's no money, so don't lose it by heart. Lose it with a reason. All right. So let me just align this on a daily time frame. Well, so based on how it reacts after the push up to this level, which means that we are expecting it to create a low. We are expecting to create this a low, then this will become the lower high. So meaning this low will be higher than this low. So at this point, those who are high risk traders will pick their buy entry from somewhere at this level. But those who are low risk traders or safe traders, or those who want to get more confirmation, they will be getting their entry somewhere here. And somebody will ask, so why don't I just buy from here? Now, when you buy from here and you are a trader, can your equity hold the pullback? That's the question. Why many people lose in trading is that they don't make provision for the pullbacks. After you enter the trade, even though it will end up going into your favor, but is your equity, your risk environment friendly to the pullback? One reason why a lot of people lose trade. Then some people too, they over trust the analysis. This one, I know it will buy. Funny enough, the day you have all the confidence that it's going to buy and you place it up, that is when it's going to disappoint you. All right. Now, there is a key level here on BTC. Now, somebody will ask, are we learning? Yeah, we are. Because after I learned trading, market research and market analysis is a real work. So what we're doing here, please, when the recording is done, make sure you re-watch it again. Watch it again. Watch it again. Spot what I do right, what I didn't do right, correct it, and then develop something from it for yourself. With that, it's going to help you a lot. So why do I expect this pullback? I expect this pullback because we have a key level, a point of concentration here. This whole point of concentration was not clearly validated. So this whole structure is a zone. Let me just short annotate it again. I don't want to have plenty lines. I don't like to have plenty lines on my chart like that. So this is our point of concentration. That is why we expect this pullback. Now, after this pullback, when it gets here, it will not just push up like that. It will give us so many consolidation, just like it's done here. Just like it's done here. So you're going to expand the same thing here like this at a point. Then we'll get another impulsive move up to this level and expect another concentration there, consolidation there. That consolidation have to pull back to come and test this level. So now come and test this level to validate the formation of key levels here. Then test it. After it tests it, we expect another level of concentration here, consolidation. I don't know why I'm mentioning concentration today, but consolidation here. Then sometimes it can give us another push down. Okay, so I will make provision for all those push downs. Can give us another push down to back to this level or a little bit above this level. Okay, so at that point, those who are into SMC, smart money concept, another concept will be really getting more meaning into the structure of movement. But the most important thing is that currently it's creating the lows, the lower lows. So our point of concentration is when it starts creating the higher lows or the lower highs, the lower highs. The low it created shouldn't be lower than the previous low. When we start seeing that, automatically the trend is changing. Okay, you must also get that pattern of reversal as well. All right. So that's for BTC. And the last but not the least, as usual, is the total market cap. Okay. So the total market cap, we've already seen this zone created a very long time. So excuse me, it came as low as it's expected on the 841. Now let me show you guys something. Okay, I just bought it. Now we've seen a low here. We've seen another low here. Then it created a low, very lowest. Let's say lowest. Let's assume we call it lowest. And after that, it creates another low. Push up again, come back and create a low. Now, let me just use data to show you something. Now, our point of concentration now is that how this final validation ends. If this is a final low, then we are going to expect a break of structure up to this level and get another low somewhere here. And we get another break of structure somewhere here and get another low somewhere here. Get another break of structure here and get another low somewhere here. It means that market is now pushing up. So you ask, how do you know it's going to buy? These are the dotted hour, just like scatter diagram. You know, those days we used to draw scatter diagram, and the more points you spotted, the what I forgot about elective math then. But the dotted point giving you the lows gives you the projection. Then it also now helps you to get a trend line. Oh, beautiful. Now helps you get a trend line. You also now can pick another trend line here. Okay. Then we also have another point of concentration here. So, but forget about this data. This is 15-minute time frame. We don't really need 15-minute time frame right now. Yes, scalpers can actually use it to get their money, expecting a level 1.04 trillion. Okay, which means that we are expecting BTC to push somewhere to 25K. So we'll break this structure to BTC structure to 15-minute time frame. You can be expected, we can actually see this movement. And the reason why I spot all the levels are this. So if it breaks this level, if it touches this level, it has to come to respect the level here in that order. So in a nutshell, that's how we do analysis. That's how we project. There's no magic, okay? So those of you just go spend money on bots. You have to understand the technicalities. All right. Now, those of you also there when we talk about our 4 indicators, 200 moving average, 550 moving average, you can also use it to help you just know some few points market is creating. Okay. So we also have the last but not the least, we have we also had this setup. That's those coming to the physical class. We have this setup and we projected this major zone created on the Euro GBP, that's Euro trading against a Great British Pounds. And this actually my automated demand and supply I used to draw zones or spot zones. Now, I think Mr. Richard can attest to our breakdown analysis. This signal was given by ICX, which people make a lot of profit from there. And it now created the level here. And later break the previous high, created a new high. So now, the same level of analysis we are doing, let's look at it from this point. So now, we have a point of concentration here. So this whole level is a key level, confirming our zone. Okay. Now, after this zone, you have to see how this journey will end. Is it creating this low, or it is coming to create a low equal to this low, or it's coming to create a low equal to this low, or it's coming to respect this level of resistance, determine on how it will push up. So don't also expect that, oh, it just rally up. So once I spotted a support, it will rally up. Yes, it may rally up, but don't go and use $100 and then you use 0.05, 0.05 or 0.5, expecting that, okay, I got my point of concentration here, so I'm buying. No, this whole area, as it is now, all this whole area is a point of concentration. And then we have another point of target here, proving support. Market actually tested this level 15 times, this whole level. You can count it 111. That's why sometimes I use the automated system to give me a clue to what I'm talking about. Now, market touched this level 15 times. So at this point, if you are using support, the law of support and resistance, you'll be expecting that when price come back here, it should buy. But if you are using the law of demand and supply, I will be expecting market to break this structure to come to this level or to come to this level. Because we have other support levels now. This is 6 level. This is, this is 6 retest. This is 1 retest. This is 1 retest. And this is 15 retest. So the deeper it can go when it keeps breaking down is up to this level. Now, if it makes this level reasonable, it means that it can come back to this level and test it and keep pushing down. Okay, so you can have whatever indicator it is, whatever setup it is, but the most important thing is the direction of the market. Now, this is just one color chart. Okay, you don't really see green and red or whatever on it. But the truth is that sometimes it's not needed. The most important thing is where the market is going, not on the candlestick color. Because one of the funny thing that affects people is because they see a green candle or a red candle. When market is selling, like it's a very impulse selling, you don't really focus on the green candles. You focus on the last candle formation. Okay, but how do you change the chart to look maybe green and red? So you click on the chart, properties. You just the bar up can be green based on the type of green you want. The bar down is red. The bull is green. The bear is red. Okay. Now, I remembered when I started my journey then, I asked my teacher more than 10 times because I thought there is some formality or technicality behind it. Okay. Now, let me just explain the point I just raised. At this particular point, this is just a correction. So if you're on 15-minute time frame, you will see it as a green candle or 2 or 4 green candles. It's a consolidation and structure was broken. And the same thing, equivalent thing it did here. So as market is buying, one major mistake new traders do is that, and people repeat that same mistake in BTC. The mistake they do is that market start buying here. Then to me, it break this level of structure for me. Okay, so I can just buy here on a low risk. That's if you miss the buy here and the buy here. There is a correction. But people will wait until they get to a level here or even the high here before they will buy. So when they buy, they'll put their stop loss very close, or they won't even set stop loss and keeps going up. There are people who also will wait and finally make the decision here. So the time of making the decision on the market is also a point of concentration or something you have to put in place. Now, there are some people who also see a buy a setup here, and unfortunately, it will give them some profits and then return to come and hit their stop loss. So these are concepts that we will going to go into detail along the line. So once you see this green, it doesn't mean it's a buy signal. This particular green you are seeing here too doesn't mean you should buy. So those who buy with candlestick color, please, that is not the real deal. The real deal is that at what point is it ready to finally change direction? So for instance, this first green may not be considered, but this will now give you a sense of change of direction. Then you can be looking for a way to make a decision at this level. Then you can now see this as a buy candle, this as a buy candle, buy candle, buy candle. This is not a sell candle. It's a trap. Okay, this is a trap, not a sell candle. This is also not a sell candle. When you put all these candles together, it's still not a sell candle. But if you not take this whole candle into consideration, it's not a buy candle. Okay, so at this particular point, this whole group of candles are information that we use when it comes to order block. Okay, so regardless the situation, if you want to make any decision, wait for your confirmation. It does not matter how long you wait. Sometimes you can wait for. There are points in time you won't get a confirmation a whole month. That is why it is not good to trade for people and then give them a short-term result. I'll give you profit on weekly basis. I'll give it to you on monthly basis. Sometimes it has to be 6 months basis because the market may not give you play according to your setup, always faster according to your time. But until then, you'll be forced to trade the market. And when you are forced to trade the market, why? You have somebody who is expecting returns from you at the end of the month. So you are forcing yourself on assets to trade, to do the trade. Now, this is a life and real experience I'm sharing with you. Okay, so until then you have to be a scalper, somebody who can stay with a PC for a very long time, just to make few pips from 1 minute, 5 minutes, and stuff like that. Okay, but currently, when it comes to trading for people, it's a no-go area for me. I will tell you no. Why? Because the dynamics in trading is not static. The strategy in trading is never static, and it can never be static. All right. Now, let me say the last thing. Then I'll allow questions. Okay. Another thing too is that some of you who spend money on boats, okay, boats is not going to be able to understand the language of fundamental. And then boats may not be able to think on dynamic basis. That's another point. So if, let's say, your boat is a scalping boat, it can make few profit from here, but it will lose a trade here. And if you lose a trade here, this particular candle alone, this bearish candle alone, can cause your boat to be confused. And if it is a martingale boat, it's going to be entering rational. Is it rational, irrational trades? At that particular point, it will not really be able to tell what the bot is doing. But if you want to do anything, you can get a setup. You can get a good setup. And that setup, you set it on your PC with quality confirmation. Okay. So for instance, I have a setup. But let me just give you one tip for how to see something. In that setup, this line is a concern. This line, this blue line just appeared on the chart, tells you at a point where confirmation is clear, carefully, which means that if you were with this PC at 14th May and June, you can be able to catch a buy here and make all this profit. And it also means that today, you could have also catch a sell here and make this profit. Now, let's say you are a novice trader, okay? Technical traders will be asking, so what happened to this move? This is where people stand against indicators as if it is bad. I always say this. But in my setup, there's two indicators that will give you your entry here. Exactly somewhere at this level. Which means that you will be in this cell, and after this, you can stay held this trade for after this level. Now, we develop these things to help people who don't really want to do too much technicalities to still be able to make something for themselves. Where you can train, you can try it on your demo for some time and master it. Then what you will do is that what reaction happened at each point? What reaction happens at each point? At what point did it cross and it still didn't sell? At what point did it cross and it still didn't buy? What candlestick forms at this point? In fact, you can just go to the chart or indicators and also pick something. Observe it for 1 month and see the reaction it gives you and deduce a strategy from it. It saves money and throw money away into easier way of making money. I'm sorry for using that word, but that is the truth. Now, if let's say 14th was yesterday, you engage yourself with this particular, just this line, and you make this money. And maybe you also have the other setup that gives you an entry here. And you also make this money. Let's say you make just this money for the whole week. And you are waiting comfortably for another instruction given you by the setup. Wouldn't you have been making something small for yourself, accumulating once you are also learning? That's the question. So I try to make Forex trading very interesting, but I think people who try to learn don't see the interesting aspect. Okay? Why? Because I'm not that type that will scare you. Hey, it's not as you think. No. Once you use your eye and focus on it, it can help you. Another point is that the economies are becoming bad each and every day. Ghana is bad, Nigeria is bad. Most of us from Ghana or Nigeria here. So at the end of the day, something like this can help you make some dollar and also exchange. The last time I exchanged $500, it gave me 4,000 Ghana cedis. $500 give me 4,000 Ghana cedis. In fact, it solved a lot of problems. If we take it to Naira, is some thousands of naira in the hundreds. Definitely, it's going to solve some problems. So if you fight hard and make $50 a month from now, then slowly you grow it and you're making $100. Slowly you grow it, you're making $150. Slowly you're getting 200. There is a time you'll get to 500. But we want to make the money boom at once. Then we lost it boom at once. Thank you so much. Ask your questions and let's call it a night.